everyone, I'm Stephanie Weaver here in the Blue and Yellow Kitchen in San Diego, California, with Microwave Boy on the camera. Daisy May, the Golden Retriever, is in the other room, and we have our special guest today, Haile Thomas. Hi Haile, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing so well. How are you?
We're good. We're so happy to have you here in the kitchen. Haley's the author of this book, Living Lively, which we're going to feature and talk about today. She's the CEO of Happy, which she's going to tell us about in a minute, and she was the junior chef advisor to Hyatt Hotels. She is 19 and was the youngest graduate of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. They're a wonderful health coaching program. And she's a slacker, clearly. Got nothing going on in her life. She's spoken all over the world, so we're super happy to have you, Haile. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. I love this show concept and setup. It's so unique and fun, so it's really so cool to be here.
So you got interested in nutrition when you were 10 because of your dad. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so when I was around 8 years old, my dad was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and through his diagnosis, we were really, as a family, forced to change our lifestyle and look at how we were eating. And so when he was prescribed, medication to treat the condition, there were insane side effects like internal bleeding and death and just things that we weren't willing to risk. And so that's when my mom really spearheaded looking into alternative forms of healing, and food was one that she came across. And so that kind of set our entire family on this journey of learning about food, where it comes from, how it impacts the body, and the best ways to nourish ourselves, but also get creative and infuse our culture into the meals that we were enjoying and learning how to make. And so through that whole journey, I learned so much about, of course, the power of food, but also the way that my generation was even impacted by health ailments like type 2 diabetes, like childhood obesity, things like that. And I really couldn't believe that this information I was learning was not mandatory in my schools and was not at all something that was, being discussed amongst, 10-year-olds or anything like that. And so I really wanted to find a way to make a difference and start sharing about my story. And that's really how all of my work got started.
That's awesome. And so is your whole family plant-based?
Yes. Our entire family is vegan, and it's definitely something I'm very grateful for every day, because I know it can be a struggle sometimes when you have family members that aren't aligned with your dietary choices. But it's been really a journey that we've been able to embrace together, and it has created growth in so many ways, beyond our diets, but also just evolving as human beings. I think expanding the notion of compassion and figuring out the interconnectedness between ourselves, the planet, and other beings is a really beautiful thing. So
Sure.
Very grateful they're on the journey with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, with the climate fires going on right now, I think we're all super aware that we need to address our climate. And one of the ways to do that is to eat way more plants. So thank you for bringing awareness to that. That's awesome. And so for people watching, you can enjoy this book and not be 100% plant-based. All of the recipes are delicious and super helpful, and you can see just by looking at the counter here, this is a perfect example of what we call Eat the Rainbow, which I know Haley's familiar with. So many beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. There's all kinds of nutrients in here. So tell us what I'm making today, Haile. Now I'm going to get started with it.
Yes, so you are making a Carrot-Chickpea-Quinoa bowl with a maple harissa dressing, and this is really a favorite recipe of mine. Actually, I have my cookbook here, and maybe, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it has like a ton of spill marks and stains from making the dressing, and like carrot shreds on here as well. But
that's awesome.
It's such a go-to recipe for me, and I love it because it kind of elevates your typical idea of what a bowl or a salad can look like, with just really delicious, sophisticated flavors, but super simple base ingredients. So that's what I really love about this recipe. You've got sweet, smoky, a little spicy, and the crunch from the chickpeas and carrots, and then I love quinoa. It's a go-to grain for me. So it's really just a bowl that makes me happy. So I can't wait for you to whip it up.
That's awesome. So what I've got in here is some baby kale and a spinach arugula blend, because I couldn't find baby arugula, so which is what she called for. And then I've got shredded carrots, and then I put in the parsley before the olive oil, right?
Yes, so
okay.
The parsley is a part of that salad mixture.
Okay, all right. So then we're just going to drizzle about a tablespoon of olive oil on this. and then I'm going to massage it a little bit. And while I'm doing that, why don't you tell us about the 7 points of power? Because I think that's such an interesting aspect of your book. Your book's really intended for other kids, right? Teens and young adults. It's really written in a super fun style. And I just would love for you to kind of tell us what the 7 points of power are while I'm getting my hands dirty massaging here.
Yes. Well, the book, is of course written from a youth perspective, and even features other young women who are doing amazing things out in the world. But the topics covered are truly universal. It captures, pieces of our general, human experience and the many ways that we can nourish ourselves holistically. And so that's really what the 7 points of power represent, are 7 different areas in our lives beyond, food and what's on our plates that influence the ways in which we show up for ourselves and others, and how we can best step into our highest potential. So the 7 points of power include wellness, thoughts and mindset, education, social media and societal influences, world perspective, creativity, and community. And I always miss the 7th one because it's like 7 of them. But I'm pretty sure, it's in there somewhere. Maybe I paired it with another. But through those 7 points of power, we get to dive into so many different sections that of course have been like universal, human dilemmas or challenges that we really haven't learned too much about how to handle, like building a healthy relationship with ourselves and with others, exploring alternative forms of education. But then we have more modern ideas that are kind of new to the human being, like managing social media and figuring out ways to use it purposefully and with intention. So through those 7 points of power, there's a ton of journaling and reflection, space to do that. And it's really encouraging introspection, because I believe that's a huge way that we can, better understand ourselves, but also enable better understanding of the world. So that's really what the 7 points of power are all about.
That's awesome. So I've got the salad been massaged. I'm going to add the red onion, so thinly sliced red onion. Beautiful. And sorry, I'm not showing you anything. I should be showing you. And our raw, here, I'm going to hold this so you can see it.
I'm envisioning it.
You're envisioning it. There you go. There we go. And then so I did red quinoa, so some extra nutrients there. When you get those, any of those deep colors are going to give you some extra nutrients. And then, okay, and then our chickpeas we're going to put on last. So I'm just going to toss all of this together, and then I'm going to make our dressing. So let's talk a little bit about our dressing, and then I'll make it, and then we can kind of finish up the bowl. So how does that look so far, ma'am?
That looks beautiful.
Okay.
And it's a great, I think of it as a great summer to fall transition salad. Those colors just remind me of fall and that early feeling, and so it's perfect to make for this time of year.
Yes.
And here in New York, it's already freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's been in the 40s in the evening, and it's crazy. So I'm very much already in fall mode.
Yeah, and we're Southern California, so it's 93 on our porch right now. So the complete opposite. So the harissa is a Tunisian North African spice paste. That's typically served over couscous. So I thought it was kind of interesting that you chose this, because quinoa and couscous are sort of kind of similar just texturally. Why did you choose harissa for this?
Yeah, so for harissa, it's something that I honestly, before creating this recipe, didn't really engage with very much, on my plate, but I had tried it once at a vegan restaurant a few years ago and just loved kind of this balance of sweet smokiness with the spices, and I thought that would pair super well with, the sweetness of carrots. Of course, quinoa is very grounding, and then fresh greens. It kind of just brings it together in this really beautiful harmony of flavors.
Right.
And so I thought harissa was a wonderful kind of unique twist on your typical salad dressing. And then we brighten it up with lemon juice and orange juice, and I just love that pairing.
So lemon juice, orange juice, maple syrup.
Yes.
So that's going in there right now. And then I've got these 2 gigantic cloves of garlic. So I'm not doing 3 because I figure that's going to be plenty.
Yeah.
The garlic can just vary so much in size, so you kind of have to just decide. So I'm going to go ahead and start blending. I've got this beautiful dressing. Can you guys see what a pretty color it is? So it's got the orange juice, lemon juice, maple syrup, olive oil, garlic, and then this beautiful harissa paste. And I'm just gonna kind of drizzle a little bit over the top. Is that right, Haley? And then toss?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can see this gorgeous orange color, which is just like she said, so beautiful in terms of just the contrast with all these gorgeous colors in here. Always use a nice big bowl because otherwise you make a big mess on your counter. I'm not a particularly neat tosser. So, and then we've got, so let's talk about the chickpeas. So the way that Haile instructs you to do them is to toss them in olive oil and roast them at 400 for 30 minutes, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then toss them with her spice mixture. So you can see this beautiful spice mixture, which is smoked paprika, chipotle powder, a couple other things. What are the other things?
Yes, turmeric, cumin, chili powder, or garlic powder. Yeah, you've got chipotle in there already.
Yeah, and then but it's very hot here, as I just mentioned. So I did them in the dehydrator. And so in the comments of the video, I will share, if you have a dehydrator and you want to dehydrate them instead, I'll share how I did that. Essentially, it's a crunchy element for the salad is the goal. And so I'm just going to pour a little bit of the sauce in here so I can hold this up and show you just how pretty that is. And then I'm going to serve some into this bowl. And so Haile, I wanted to be sort of very transparent about our process with this show because you and I have rescheduled a couple times, my schedule, your schedule, and then we were going to shoot 2 weeks ago, and there was another police killing of a black person, and so I reached out and I said, hey, would you like to reschedule because these are hard things to absorb. And so I wanted to just be really clear that this is a very difficult time that everyone is going through, and there's depending on how one reacts to these things, it can be just very difficult. And so one of the reasons why I really wanted to showcase your book is because there's such a great emphasis on self-care. And so one of the ways that self-care can show up is just to say, I need to reschedule this. So I really appreciated that you exhibited great self-care and saying, yes, I would like to reschedule. No, this isn't a good week for me. And I think it's very helpful to just recognize that there's a lot going on, and every day it seems like there's more hard things to absorb. So this is a great book, I think, to kind of turn to and get inspired by, and especially all these young activists that Haile is featuring in the book are so inspiring and so fantastic. So it was really something where I just wanted to thank you because I just felt like I got so much inspiration from reading your book and just knowing you're in the world. So not to put the world on your shoulders at all, but I just found it just was such a nice breath of fresh air. So I just wanted to thank you for basically being who you are and just being awesome. And let's see, yeah.
I really appreciate that, and the salad looks amazing, and just even mentioning it was really, really considerate of you to offer to reschedule and just considering what's going on, because there's definitely a lot of people who are just operating as if things are normal and you're just back at home, but there's so much going on. And I think a big part of self-care is also kind of that sense of community and mutual support, and I definitely felt that from you, so I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm just putting a few more chickpeas on top just to showcase how really pretty it is. And so let's see, I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. I'm going to taste this because I have not tried it and have not tried the dressing, so I'm going to take a little bite. Tell us if there's like one thing you want people to kind of walk away with, be inspired by. What's kind of on your mind right now?
I think if anything, just understanding the power of your own personal growth and well-being and how that ripples into our entire world. It changes the ways that we interact with each other, the ways that we can empathize with different, states of being that many people are in. And I think that it's something that kind of gets underestimated, especially in our world where, we can get so overwhelmed by systems and kind of feel out of power by looking to, certain people to fix our problems or whatever it may be. But there's so much power that lies within ourselves and our individual actions and choices and how we choose to show up for ourselves and others. And so just remembering that we are, very powerful and can truly be, the change we wish to see in the world. I think truly embodying and believing that is so important to help us create a better world. So, making a delicious and nutritious salad for yourself is absolutely, a big part of that too.
100%. And so I think it really exemplifies your, kind of your worldview and what you're trying to ensure people understand is that all this stuff is interconnected. Eating more plants is helpful for the planet. Sometimes it feels like, oh man, there's nothing I can do because I'm just one person, but it does make a difference, the choices that we make with purchasing, with buying organic if we can afford it, with eating more plants, all of those things. Even if people aren't 100% plant focused, that's still great. And also, this is a freaking delicious salad. So I'm like so impressed. I was a little worried because I'm kind of wimpy with the spice, and I was worried that harissa would be too spicy for me, but it's just perfect. The balance with the maple, the smokiness, it's just delicious. So so you're gonna find the buy link in the comments, and I am now partnering with my local independent bookstore on these shows to help support them. So our bookstore partner is the Book Catapult here in San Diego. If you can afford to buy from an independent bookstore, it does two things. It supports that independent bookstore and also means the author makes more money because we only make the percentage off what the book is sold for. So if you buy from the online big giant, Haile makes less money. So don't cheat Haile. Buy the book at full price if you can. You can find all of her amazing work at HaileVThomas.com. That's HAILEVThomas.com. You can follow me as Weaver MPH. And if you know any wonderful folks who would enjoy seeing this, I encourage you to share this video. Haile, thank you so much for being with us today. It was truly a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having me. Great to pop into your kitchen, and I'm so happy that you enjoyed the salad as well.
It's really fabulous. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.